I've been burnt by family. I've been burnt by friends. I've been burnt by brothers. I've been burnt by teammates. I've been burnt by all these people that I've openly loved and would do, I would give you the shirt off my back, and them same people I have watched, do me any kind of way. So us as men, this is the burden that we carry.
What's up, man? It's your man, Coach Crump. Man, super excited to welcome y'all to the Boy Man King podcast with my main man, Chizzy.
Yes, what's going on, my guy? How you?
I'm blessed, man. Good to see you. And we got a special guest in the building, man. None other than the one and only, the great author, entrepreneur, NBA champ,
yes, sir.
A legendary AT alien. Give it up for the one and only Josh Powell, man. What's up, man?
It's a crazy resume.
I need me a cool Chizzy. I need y'all to bring me in like that.
Man, it's an honor to have you, bro.
Jizzy, we give that Jizzy.
Nah, man.
Cool.
It's an honor to have you, bro.
Yeah, man.
This is humbling. Because it's an honor to be amongst good brothers.
Yeah,
great energy.
Appreciate it, man. And man, you brought your moms, you got a little man with you, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the fam, you know what I mean?
We on deck.
That's
how we roll.
Paul's in the building.
Come on now.
My dad said
whole
Paul's in the
family
building. Don't
affair.
hate. I know you're feeling it.
No.
Paul's in the building, bro.
This is just humbling to see, like, again, we be in a room and we always reminded that Chizzy is still the worst basketball player in the room. It's still like confirmation.
Until we get on the court, and it's a different story.
Yeah. In your mind. Yeah. So the point we want to make, let's pivot to talk about other things. But man, first of all, man, you've been in this journey as a man. We've been able to build, you know what I mean, just, naturally, man, from the speaking space, from hooping space. But man, you really made a strong pivot about, being a man who's talking about relationships, being a man who's really talking about the things I wish I knew. Shout out to the book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out to the book, man. And it's talking about everybody, I first want to get into this space because I can relate to this. Mm-hmm. Everywhere you go, people see you as a hooper. They see you, no matter what.
Wait, hold on. You're trying to say I can't relate because what are you really trying to say?
No, you can't.
Are you trying to say something?
No, I'm not trying to say. You
sure?
No, you can't relate.
Okay,
so I'm just saying. Me and him can relate on everywhere you go.
You
as a
see
hooper.
how it's going to go, right?
So, I started, and I'm saying because I love what he's doing.
Yeah, sure.
But I started like in 2018, like, okay, y'all want me at this camp at LA? You want me at this camp? I still got to speak. Mm-hmm. So Jeff DeSato and Charles Peters and anybody else who would have me at their event, I was like, cool, I do the event. I train it, even Chris Paul. And I'm talking to Jeff Decker like, look, Brooke, and there's where I can speak. But, Chris Paul's a little bit, you got to be on a certain list and be coaching the USA team to kind of really speak to those kids. But I was just like, man, I need y'all to see me as a speaker and not just as a basketball guy who played overseas, who did all of this and did all of that, got this medal, got that championship. I'm like, I don't even like, to be honest, I don't even care about that stuff no more. Like, I care about what I'm doing now, but I'm gonna leverage how everybody can relate to me to really speak on what I'm really on, and that's personal development. You know what I mean? So when I see you going through that transition of, but still, you all, everybody knows you for what they know you for, man. Because he was like, man, I did. I say, yes, he played in the league. But it's important to understand, I want people to really know you're a man. Number one, it's at the God's heart and doing things in an honorable way, but also really talking about these hard conversations that we got to have as it relates to relationships. Is that something that you're kind of like, in real time working out, or you feel like, people still go straight the basketball player, then we'll get to know whatever else you got going on later?
I think we all understand whatever your niche is, they always going to lean towards that.
Yeah.
So for me, God put me in a position where that's what got me into the room. That was like the cool factor.
Like that.
You know what I mean? So chapter 1, I'm super blessed and thankful because, that gave me the chance to do stuff like this, to get you in, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the room, but like for me and you, like we had a chance to talk. So it's different.
Yeah.
But initially, it's like Josh Powell, 2-time NBA champ, woo, woo, woo. Like, I get a pass. Like, I'm in the rooms, I'm coming to the conferences, I'm when I used to club, it's like, bro, just come on. All good. You know what I mean? And it's the gift and the curse, but I like to remind people that, for me, there's more to me than just that. Like even from my social media, I don't really post basketball stuff or nothing, but every blue moon, a little reel might come up or a little photo or something, just to show that this was one of my blessings too. Right. So, I take it for what it is.
In the height of your career, and I'm saying career in terms of when you're winning championships, you're hooping. Obviously, your identity, a lot of your identity is centered around basketball.
Absolutely.
What are you processing in your head in terms of, I know I'm more than just me playing the ball. I'm trying to get into certain spaces. I'm trying to have certain conversations. Was that challenging for you? Like, how did you navigate the Josh Powell, who's a man of God, who's an author, who's, as you said, has a lot more to offer than just me playing ball?
That's a great question. Well, first, I've always looked at it like I'm a man first. Sure. And I feel like a lot of men associate their identity to what they do or what they have. And we see that, you know what I mean? And even to this day, I'm sure we can both look into some of our circles, and it's okay. It's not to offend anybody. It's no judgment. But a lot of people, they lean on that. You know what I mean? And then when you strip that, then what? Yeah. So I've always been that first. And for two, it's not that I've, been the type of person to prove or do this or do that. I think my biggest hurdle was trusting people.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Imagine.
And I grew up, I had a past, and just overcoming and really feeling comfortable. But then I noticed it's like, it's still hard to trust people. So the one thing I could do is lean on myself, and it was learning to trust me more.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And the more I trusted myself, and it's just me understanding my purpose. So that's why it's like, no matter what's going on, no matter who got what going on, it's like, be what you want to see, period. And it took me a while, like what everybody's seeing right now, like I was never on that type of time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the way I would have just pulled up on you before, we chopping it up, I'd be like, bro, I don't know what bro got going on. I'm just keeping it a bean because I've been burnt by family. I've been burnt by friends. I've been burnt by brothers. I've been burnt by teammates. I've been burnt by all these people that I've openly loved and would do, I would give you the shirt off my back, and them same people I have watched, do me any kind of way. So
don't go past that, because I was I never forget, because it's hard for us to relate to an NBA star, like legend and an ATL legend, and you winning championships, you're playing with the Lakers, you're playing with Kobe. Like, I remember having a moment when I was a kind of a star. Like, I'm in Japan, we're traveling, you're getting a personal assistant, you're getting press releases, you're getting people want to take pictures with your baby signing.
That's love, that Asian culture.
Yeah. So I'm out there, but it was like a tour. So I went to Osaka, Okinawa, so Korea. You get, and the government aid is hosting you, and then this, the JW Marriott, didn't even know there was a thing as a JW Marriott. So I'm getting this, but this is 2009. Right. So this same time you over there, and I simply processed it. What is it like to be Kobe like this for 9 months in every single year and everywhere you go in the world? Because I was just, I went to Bermuda. I was like, oh, it's Crump.
Yeah, I was just a regular guy.
I'm a regular guy with a shirt and tie on when I get off that plane. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, but they never have that. I cannot be Kobe. I could just go to, and I'm saying that to say, like, when people start acting that crazy about you just getting out, or you just jogging up a court, or you just showing up to a radio station, you start to question a lot of things. But I'm like, let me go back to the normal life. Right. But for somebody who's an NBA guy, you can never really go back to a normal life, especially at the apex of you being in the midst of it. Did a lot of this betrayal and trust things when people, your brothers and family and teammates, did a lot of these things happen when you was in the NBA?
No,
that was before too?
This is childhood history I'm talking about.
And I was going to ask that question, like what was it like growing up?
Yeah, this is stuff that's deep rooted, and it's not a Josh Powell thing. This is us,
right?
This is what we as men. Yeah, it's not a black thing. This is a thing. This is human beings. It just so happens that the people that look like us, you see it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Versus how other cultures and other people might rock. Now, every blue moon, something will slip out under the cracks where you like, bro, they tripping over there.
Right.
But that's all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a human thing. And then, you know, the other thing is the and I've talked about this, like, even in my book, like, the secrecy in our community. Like, I grew up in that. You feel me? Like, growing, you know, where abuse and trauma and those things are so normalized, and then you're brought up in the hush culture.
Yeah.
We don't speak about what's going on in our household. We don't do those things. Like, so it's not normal for you to go to somebody about whatever's going on. You know, I had a conversation with my mom. I think this was like 3 years ago, maybe 4. No, 4 years ago, I think. When she first found out about some of the things that went on in my childhood. I'm 41 now. My mom got a whole mouthful at 37. I was 37. So I could just imagine how many mothers, fathers are hearing these truths from their sons or their daughters that they never either felt comfortable saying, or they just normalized it, like, this is just what it is. And for me, it was just, this is what it is.
So, but I'm saying, like, a lot of people never, I know my family is like that. I'm not going to act like that's not the truth for us, especially in the family that raised me. It's just like, that literally situation came over, they were like, oh, well, we're going to take that to the grave. I was like, oh, okay. But because it's somebody else, it's not really me. I'm just hearing about it, but it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I can't. If it was directly affecting me, then I'd be wanting to question more.
Right.
But what gets you at 37? What are you going through to even say that to your mom? Because a lot of people would, like I said, my cousin who told me to take something to the grave. She was 42, 44 when she calling me about something. It's like, oh, we're just going to take that to the grave because it's about somebody else. But I'm like, what you at 37, even where are you to even approach your mom to share what you had to share?
Well, for me, I think it's a responsibility thing. And I've always been an open person, but obviously now with social media and everything else, you know, that's a different level of openness.
Oh, yeah.
And
But
honestly,
so help us understand you being an open person, but you had trust issues, like from childhood. So
that's what I'm gonna get into, because for me, and that's what I was about to say, like, when I became a parent, my oldest daughter is gonna be 18 this summer. That changes. It changes how you move, because now it's like, I know what I went through. I don't want you to go through that. So now it's me having those real conversations as she gets older, or, you know, just keeping it close so we can have that dialogue, so there's trust there in the event that something happens. And here's what's so crazy about it. Like, my kids went through traumatic experiences as well. And the secrecy thing came up again. And in that situation, there was a person who was having other people keep things from me that I would find out. So then it's like, I have to now have these conversations that I didn't think that I would necessarily have to have, but it's necessary to have. So you're put in a place where you have to now talk about this thing that you didn't think that you would have to touch on at a time or an age where you might have thought you had another 5 years.
I was gonna say that because the timeline is important as well, because of course you don't want to have certain conversations with your kids at a particular age, because they may not be ready to receive it. Traumatically, it may re-affect them in a way that negatively, will change their trajectory. Similarly, just yesterday, my dad and my son, we were sitting down, we were talking after we ate, and my dad, I had learned some stuff about stuff that took place in my family, and was revealing certain things to my son, and my son started to talk about one of his cousins had revealed something to her mom. And so the timeline and the age, at that particular age, are like, is he ready? Are my kids ready to hear certain things? Are my kids ready to receive certain information? Because the healing starts once you start that dialogue.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, no matter how old, is like, you can prepare for the type of trauma. Now, to get back to what you were saying, when I made a conscious decision to jump into this relationship space because I was passionate about it, I know I'm gonna say some things, so I needed to have a conversation with my mom to let her know where I was at. And then when I decided to, however it came about, but there was gonna be a book in motion.
Yeah.
I got a decision to make. Writing a book is one of the most beautiful yet powerful things you can do because it's not like an interview. It's not like playing on the court. It's not like doing certain things. Like this is you and this paper, and whatever you want to put out there will be out there
For sure.
forever. Like it's just different. Like we can talk in interviews, but some people, not me, some people are coached in a way where they'll only go but so much. They're gonna stay on the surface. Not too many people are willing to peel that thing back. It's not gonna happen. So for me, that was the other thing about having a responsibility, because I feel like if I can do something or share something, then it'll save you. It'll save you. It'll help you parent, or something in regards to one of your other relationships. Maybe it can help you give grace to somebody, or give some, show forgiveness, or maybe have a conversation that you've been needing to have for such a long time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not acting like this is so easy. It's been through a lot of work, being on the journey. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I want to get to too, because I'm saying, okay, we can share all of this stuff, but there got to be some healing from you, even more so for you to do damage control for other parties that's involved that may hear about the stories from, whether it come from the book or speaking or podcast, because all of us have, well, for those of us who speak on these topics, I know you share some sensitive stuff as well. It's like more important than telling somebody else, hey, I want you to be aware, I want to be on the same page about certain things. That's where I'm at in life. You got to have that healing about that. And for you to be going through so much disappointment and lack of trust, but you really being at the genuine part of you, an open person, how did you heal from all of that, people letting you down and betraying you, even being family members and quote unquote brothers?
Now, somebody might shoot me for this, but I genuinely feel that the healing is continuous. I don't feel that anybody is like, boom, I'm good, step away. Because there's going to be something that's going to test you, something that's going to take you back, and you're going to be like, but you're better. Don't get me wrong. But we all know that throughout life, man, this journey is continuous, and you're in different stages of your life. You could be husband and wife now. You could be husband, wife, kids, husband, wife, kids, grandparents. Like there's so many layers. It just keeps going. And then what happens when y'all were like super attracted to each other, and then that kind of fades, and then you're on to this next thing, because now it's like, I love my wife, I love my husband. I know we were here, but now we got to tap into the mind. We got to, address the emotions or see what we got spiritually. Like there's just so much to this. But I think that's the beautiful part of it too, is just wanting to unpack all of these different things. I'm 41, and even at 40, just within a year, it's like so much has happened. You know what I'm saying? So those tests are continuous, because even if they're not amongst my peers, my kids are testing me. So that's another part, right?
Come on.
That's the mirror, and it's like that's the thing that people don't talk about, the responsibility of having children and not knowing the work that goes into it. And there's so many people that love the idea of parenting until you have to actually parent.
Come on, preach.
And it's so heavy, because when you have to say no, I've said this on other platforms, and it's like, I know for me as a man, I let people that I love down every day.
Right.
The minute I tell one person no, I've already hurt your feelings, even though my no is to protect you. But you don't see it that way. You looking at it like, I'm not getting what I want, and I'm looking at it like, this is gonna hurt you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, us as men, this is the burden that we carry.
Come on.
Even with our women, right? It's not a competitive thing, but we know how heavy it is to be a man.
Yeah.
Especially when people dismiss your feelings. They overlook you. You're only praised by what you do. You know what I mean? And I can give a whole list of other things, right? But then when you get to the chance to have these type of moments and conversations where you can build and uplift and eye contact and be able to be present and just feel what each other's going through, That's what makes it powerful. That's why the brotherhood is so important.
Facts. And like you said, there's nuance and there's level, because I would imagine at your level, at the height of your career, at the height of everything that you're exposed to, the resources you have, how are you managing, how are you keeping centered? Because we all have a level of centeredness necessary to be able to be a resource to our kids, to our loved ones. How are you specifically staying centered today, now, at this phase of your life?
Remaining humble. I know some people look down upon that word, but for me, I think that I'm not chasing anything. You know, a lot of people that are, and I'm not judging again, like if that's what you feel is on you to do, then cool, but people die behind happiness. People die literally behind.
What do you mean when you say people die behind happiness?
Trying to chase that feeling.
Right.
Because the one thing that I do know, and I've seen this poor, I've seen it middle class, and I've seen it being in the upper class, rich, wealthy, whatever you want to call it. Right. So many people are broken.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that enough.
Yeah.
So many people are going through the things that they're going through. They're not in the best places and spaces, and they're portraying healthy. They're portraying that they got it all. They're portraying that everything is good, and that's not the case.
Right.
I've seen it. I know pain when I see it. I say that too. I can walk into a room and you can feel the insecurities from people. Even if a man got more money than me. But come on, big dog, I see you. I know what's going on there. And that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Right. Have you, because I told people it's weird for me because it's the first time in my life that I'm not super ambitious. You know, I've always been like, I got to get the bag. I got to do this. I got to make it to the league. I've always had something I was chasing personally that had nothing to do with nobody. This is the first time in my life I don't have any of that. So like, was something wrong with me? I had to do some work. I get some counseling just to make sure. So it's interesting because we're both at the same age. And I was just like, I mean, me and you've been talking on the side about this, but like, have you found that since you're not driven for a thing or for a feeling, that you're more present? Because I severely struggled with being present, because I was always trying to go get something so I can improve my situation, so I never could see my situation for like really what people around me were dealing with. But I find since I stopped chasing the thing, the goal, the feeling, I'm way better at being present and seeing people and being there. And so did you go through a phase like that where have you always been humble and you can see all of this, or that was a transition for you?
For me, I've always been humble, but I could still see it. I never really had, the cheerleaders like, and again, my mom's in the next room. That's not me taking away nothing from my mom, but when you talk about a community of people, like a large amount of people that want to see you win and whatever you need, we really got you. Right. I didn't grow up with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that respectfully. This is my experience. Whatever person hears this or whatever, again, I hear you and I feel you, but you could have did better. You know what I'm saying? We all have a place to grow and where we're coming from, and there's no judgment, but in the grand scheme of things, I've had the chance to see it. I've had the chance to myself have to be my biggest fan and pick me up all the time and be there for myself, because again, I don't know. I don't trust. You know what I'm saying? And those were the things that even now at 41 is still navigating in that space because of the people that I've been burned by and everything else. Now, I know that I'm in a better place because of how I handle it. The fact that I can freely express it and talk about it. The fact that I still love those people and I don't have any ill will towards them. Like, I don't feel no type of way if my phone.
They ain't blocked. They ain't blocked on the phone.
I'm not into blocking.
Okay, I just had that.
I'm not judging anybody that blocks.
You know what I'm saying?
But for me, I feel like, and again, I know for those people, that's the way that they protect themselves. But have you really healed? Yeah, that's always the thing.
It's to precipitate
you're protecting, right? Because on one end, it's like, this is a part of healing and protecting me. But then on the other end, when you remove that protection, what is your reaction? Yeah. And if you still having the same feeling, same reaction, that means you got to do some soul searching and you ain't healing. I don't want somebody to have that type of control over me. Right. I don't want my phone to ring and I see Chris' name pop up and I'm just like,
dang. Yeah. No, let's
we
hold
do
on, but
that
Let's
all-
practice. Let's practice. When my name do come up on your phone, man, show the people how you react when I
My dog, what's
Hey,
that?
that's my dog. That's my dog.
You're funny. You're funny.
No, because it's love. You know what I mean? And it's just any and everything that I do. The reason why I can be as confident and as bold and as loud is because I'm really doing it for me. Yeah. Like I was just having a conversation with my wife the other day because we have a difference in communication styles and all of those things, and I'm telling her about speaking up on things. And she's like, well, what if they ain't listening? And I'm like, it doesn't matter that they're not listening. It matters that you say it because you need to get that off. You need to release that. If you don't release that, you're going to feel away. And this is the one thing that I know.
So hold on. Do you feel like she's not releasing that and she saying it to you and tearing you like
That's her release?
Yeah, her releasing it on you, but not releasing it to how she needs it.
It could be and not be the person, and I'll carry that burden.
Yeah, because I've done that.
I don't have a problem. Like I know for me for sure that the Creator has put that on me to give me the strength to do that.
Okay. Okay, you got the ability, you got the strength to do that, but for her own development, that's part of you. Because I
that's
believe,
still her cross to her. That's her journey to take.
But I get I get with a husband because I do that too. Like I'm hear you out, get it all out, express it the way you need to express it, but you do need to ultimately go to say it to the person or to
I tell her that.
You know what I mean?
But here's where we get the peace at. Because I'm telling her that, now what you do with it is what you do with it. But I've told you.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like if I'm listening and I'm not telling you, that's different. But I let her she has the platform to do whatever. Speak your mind, do it however you need to do it. But I always share with her, like, this is my duty to you. I got to keep it a beam with you. Now that I do that, it's released. It's off my plate.
Right.
Because it is an aspect, I truly believe, this is my personal philosophy, but I built it on some practical examples. Like, I do believe as part of our role as a husband is to father our wives. Like, because when you look at the ceremony, in a traditional sense, the father would hand over his daughter to you, not just but like, I'm protecting her, I cover her, I guide her, I lead. So I'm richly passing on the torch not for just passing on my daughter. Right. I'm passing on the responsibility of, now it's official, you're going to protect, advise, make sure she's good. Like
let's say to be the man. Man.
So we're calling it.
Some people gonna be like, "Hey, my daddy." I'm just
listen.
I
know what people gonna say. But even if you got in pillow talk, a lot of times you will say that's my baby, and somebody else will say that's hey daddy. Even she was joking, someone would do that, right? So for me, it's like it is an aspect of it that I truly believe that you have to even father your wife, not to be her father, but the fathering.
They mother to what he's saying though, to piggyback, it's like they mother us. In a sense, right? The nurturing,
but like sometimes people will get resent. What I'm saying is, if you don't tell them, we're not having a conversation with men, but like, bro, part of your role is to father her too. Like you have to advise her, you have to like make sure she double check some stuff for her own well-being. Got nothing to do with you at all. But like you have to be comfortable with that because this whole whose role is this and is it 50-50 and well I did this, then you do that. And that depends on whether I'm going to do anything. It's like, nah, like some aspects of it is you bearing the responsibilities of fathering and not having no issue about that.
Right, but it also comes down to understanding the system of relationship as it relates to man and wife and God. And how I believe, and this is my take on it, how God empowers man from a leadership perspective. Your accountability is to God first, and your accountability for your wife is from your wife to her husband, then to God. So from a hierarchical perspective, not a domination perspective, not to say that I'm over her, but if a woman starts to understand that in terms of relationship, in terms of accountability, it is your job and your role, and she should embrace that level of accountability for for my wife to say, all right, I know God empowers him to make decisions for my family, and his job is to nurture me, is to provide leadership, is to provide all of these things, and that's an easier understanding to have. But in society now, a lot of women are just like, they kind of feel like
You put that so beautifully.
they don't even want to. They don't
That was so mature. Hey, ladies, submit.
submit. Yeah,
Okay.
Submit.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
No.
You're right.
I'm
right.
gonna give. Look,
it-
I'm not
give
as
the bean,
seasoned
as you
as you.
say.
Yeah, I'm not as seasoned as you, because that was beautifully put. But
Submission.
submission, right? But I want to be clear on this too, because there's a level of submission from both sides.
Yeah, facts.
And we don't look at it,
Right.
we don't look at relationships that way. Like the husband is supposed to submit and serve his woman.
100%.
His woman is supposed to submit and serve for her husband. Yes. And we lose sight of that because we don't like the word or how it's said, but that's the problem.
Right.
And then we wonder why we're getting in relationships and relationships aren't succeeding. And what I mean by succeeding is it ain't about the amount of years y'all together. It's what y'all are like in each other's role as y'all move forward as a unit. I can tell the difference in a couple that's just together versus a couple that are with each other.
Yeah, facts.
Come on.
And what that really, really looks like.
Yeah.
Because we'll base things on, well, that so-and-so been married for 30 years, so what? What kind of trauma's coming with that? Who been putting up with who and tolerating what? We don't talk about that. But when you see, when I met your wife, it was like she had a spirit. You see what I'm saying? Like you can tell that somebody's pouring into somebody and vice versa.
Sure.
Like that's how you can know that there's a difference. Now that's not to say that y'all don't have problems or disagreements don't come up, but when you put your partner first, you can notice when two people are working towards the same goal and they're making sure that they're working on themselves too in the process.
Say that part.
We're forgetting about that.
This is it.
So but you said two big things that are very important, but that really takes the individual responsibility to say, look, I'm going to be committed to the same goal collectively, right? Not about me. And at the same time, and this is where a lot of like all of these sidebar conversations come in. I'm going to do the work on myself. Like I'm going to personally tell you, I'm going to do some work on me so that I keep showing up as the best version of me to help this collective goal stay in the same direction. Why is it such a hard thing for people, I'm not going to say men or women, I'm just going to say people in general, to just really why would you get in a relationship and think about yourself? I fundamentally even understand.
Because you don't understand purpose. I think people don't understand their purpose, period. It's a saying, if you don't understand the purpose of a thing, the abuse of it is inevitable, right? So when you, woman, man, whatever, if you understand your purpose through God first, then your centering and your measurement for why I'm doing this is important. So your purpose helps you to identify your why. And so from a married perspective, and I've been married, we all know this, but even the enlightened person I am now would have done things a lot different back then. Because now I'm deciding, all right, I need to function and understand my purpose through God first. And so now the partner that God's going to bless me with in the future, that's naturally going to be somebody that I'm going to look for, that I'm going to be attracted to, that I'm going to.
It's going to be in alignment with your purpose.
It's going to be in alignment with my purpose. So that's where you have to line up first. Is all right, here's my purpose in God, man's purpose, woman's purpose, and now how are we collectively meeting our purposes? Y'all got your individual journey. You got everything you're passionate about. Your wife's gonna have something she's passionate about. She's taking an individual journey, but you both understand purpose for the benefit of the team, and you're moving collectively together. And I think that's where a lot of people fall short. They go into relationships for about themselves and thinking that this person's supposed to make me happy, and she's attractive. And like you said, there's things we have over time. My parents have been married 50 plus years. I'm pretty sure my dad.
Shout out to Papa Powell in the building. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure, he and my
light
mom
flex with a
are
lean
still
back.
attracted to each other. But as you know, marriage and love is more about the commitment and the choice of sticking it through
Facts.
through the good times and the bad times.
To add to what you're saying too, like I also believe that people love the idea.
Yeah, facts.
You know, You want the big house, but not understanding what goes into it, the maintenance. You know, the type of bread you gotta, the type of bread you gotta bring in for the upkeep, like all of those things. And it's
Facts.
like we're viewing relationships wrong from the beginning. And it's not about love, like you said. It's like transactional. You know what I mean? And it's like at the core and the foundation. Like I just told my wife this the other day when we was driving. I said, any and everything that I do has nothing to do with your reaction or how you take it or me making you happy or whatever. I'm doing it at the core, which means regardless of how you take it, it's going to be done.
Still gonna be consistent.
I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to fight. Not fight. I'm still going to work towards whatever it is that we need to work towards. I'm still going to treat you a certain way. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be forgiving. I'm going to do all of these things. And it's not based on, did she receive that or not?
Right. Do I need validation? Yeah.
It ain't got, because as men, this is how we lead.
Come on.
We have to be willing to take them bumps and bruises and just do the right thing. When I talk to my kids, and it's like, especially my son, like one of them's here, and it's like, okay, bro, you want to be a pro, this, that, well, you gonna do what pros do? So that means being held accountable. Don't do it for the show. Right. We all get praise. Most men, that's how we live and operate. We want the show. We want people to go into the comments and say, I see you, big dog.
Yeah.
That uplifts your spirit.
Yeah.
But it's just for that moment. But when you are who you are at the core, that's power.
Yeah, facts.
And nobody can strip that from you.
Wow.
And that's where we got to get to as men, as husbands, if you decide to get married, as fathers, as businessmen, as role models, whatever. We got to be that type of person where we standing on business regardless of how big or small the applause is.
Right.
Yeah. I love that, man. That was really good. Kind of reminded me when we talking about the King Conference. Mm-hmm. And I always like, when I'm dealing with men, it's like, okay, bro, you put way too much validation, affirmation, confirmation on the woman.
Yeah.
You put in your whole energy. You got a certain. Your body's changed up. You was one way talking about basketball. We talked about your woman, bro. Bro, we need to go get a drink. Oh, we need to go do something. I'm like, dang, bro, like, why do all that? And it's because, excuse me, you gotta put so much confirmation of who you are and your humanity on her response.
And your identity as well is tied directly to the validation and her response, and whether or not she sees you or doesn't see you. Like you said, like if you're consistent in all those areas, whether you're in relationship, whether you're in business, whether you're in the community, whether in church, who you are, your principles, your values, all those things are going to show up regardless, and are not going to waver depending on the circumstances.
Let me ask y'all a question though, and we got nothing but solid brothers in this room. I feel like real men recognize you're not going to always be seen.
Oh no.
Or heard.
And that's why we have the
or
that's why we do what we do.
You see what I'm saying?
Over half of the time you're not. Yeah. So that's why I say you can't put that on them because they're not an expert at seeing men. Right. So my point was
men are
not even men are experts at seeing men, but not even from other men.
Yeah.
Like a real man knows you got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I'm putting in this time and sweating and doing all of that. Yeah. It's okay, like if somebody says what they say or don't say nothing at all.
Right? Yeah, like you got to be okay with being lonely. You got to be okay with being tired. Yes. You got to be okay with being, misused, used, neglected. Like that comes with the territory of being a man who has responsibilities. That's number one.
But there is a necessary level of work that's required for you, even for you to be okay with this spaces.
So that's what I'm getting at. But that's what I'm getting at when I say like those thirds. Yeah, it's important to know those thirds. Yeah, like a third of your affirmation, confirmation, validation comes from God. Mm-hmm. Another third comes from being with initiated, mature men who can really understand and see where you are. Like, bro, you ain't even gotta talk. Like, I got you. Let's go have a conversation, bro. Like, we ain't even gotta go there. I got you.
Sure.
And then the other third is you working on that skill set for the others, those women and children. But you can't expect women and children to understand what a man needs for confirmation, affirmation, and validation for his humanity. Right. Brother, the stuff that we think, the stuff that we deal with, the stuff we go through, it literally, and I said this at the conference, like literally, there was a girl who tried to be a man for like a short period of time, ended up killing herself because she was like, I didn't know men get treated like that. I didn't know it was like that for men. So I don't want no parts of that.
You know,
what
it's
I mean?
crazy. I'm still answering your question at the beginning of this conversation.
Yeah.
And I knew that would happen over the course of time when you're asking certain things. And it's like, that's why I said for me, I just got to be what I want to see, period. I go into a room, look a man in his eye, go into a room, tell a man you appreciate him, tell him you love him, tell him whatever, pour into a man. And I'm telling you, I see it, it makes a lot of men uncomfortable, but that's okay. It's the start. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta do something. Like to genuinely embrace a man, hug him, do all of that. Like there's power in that. Because I know every room I walk in, gas stations, stores, even on the basketball court, how many people that look like us will walk right by each other and not even acknowledge our existence? We do that all day, every day, and it's so normal.
Yeah. I love the quote you said, though. I be what I want to see. That was good. That's a bar. I may take it. I may reframe it.
He may have put it in the book
please
already.
do.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying?
But part of the passion for this platform is that very reason. You know what I mean? I was like anybody else, man, in COVID, trying to figure out things because you got to pause because you're in COVID.
Yeah, you got time.
So I was like, okay, I had this idea, and Bermuda was like, hey, Crump, we don't need your retainer because Bermuda shut the country. They went on a national shutdown. So I was like, okay, that money's gone. And then I had another thing that was making me money. I was like, Chris, because due to COVID, I said, okay, that money's gone. So then my mind's like, okay. And so like a lot of people, 2020, I'm looking at a lot of social media. Because you kind of try to like figure out like ideas. And I'm seeing people put out advice on relationships and marriage and manhood. I was like, OMG, this is terrible advice for somebody who's in marriage, somebody who is a man, somebody who's helping your other men. I'm like, yo, and I'm looking at how many followers they got. I'm saying how many people are commenting, how many people are, yeah, that's right, fire emoji. I said, wow. I have to start. So I didn't know what I had to do, but once I saw so many people going, because so many people got COVID rich. A lot of people got COVID popular, COVID popping on. We didn't have a lot of distractions because everybody was at home chilling with their phones. But when I saw some of the content that was out, I said, I cannot, in good conscience, knowing what men are going through, sit here and not create a space for just men to have a conversation about what real men are really doing, how they really navigate in space, how they really navigate in life. And I say all that to say, I'm so appreciative I knew of Josh before I met him in the basketball space because you was doing TSF and you was doing the Big Three and you was doing so many other. And so I saw him in the A, even in transition on some events, but we didn't know each other. But to see the man that you have become in these past couple of years is so distinct to me because he even had a little different, swag to him. You know what I mean? When he played, when he flexed, but like just this calming, like present spirit was really not about me at all.
Right.
Like I just want to acknowledge you, man. Like I just want to acknowledge the obvious work you put in, the obvious pivots you made, the obvious commitments you honored to even put yourself to this arrival point so that we all can now glean from your example and glean from your witness and glean from your words, man. So I really want to just acknowledge the work I've seen you put in. Even if I ain't see the work, I'm seeing the fruits of the work and your presence and your spirit, man. So I just want to acknowledge you, bro.
And I'm humbled.
Yeah.
I want to receive that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not an everyday occurrence. You feel me? Like from people that you know.
Yeah.
The stranger's gonna show you love all day long. I got so many family and friends that are people that I don't know like that, but somebody like yourself, been in your space. I had the chance to obviously build with you. Sure. And it's humbling, but I think it's important that we all normalize men behaving in this manner. Where it's something that is cool. It's something that's okay for a man to tell another man, no matter how long or short a period of time, to say, hey, brother, I love you. I don't want nothing from you. Love is free. You know what I'm saying? But we hold on to it. We don't want to let true love go. You feel me? And then we got so many people, if you're a believer, then show God's love. You know what I mean? Show God's love, whatever that looks like. You know what it looks like. Be that example and do that.
So tell the people, man, how they can know more about what you got going on. What's the book? Like, tell everybody how they can find out how to follow you. Like, talk to the people.
No, for sure. Well, first, Josh 21 Powell on Instagram, and Josh 21 Powell on TikTok for however long it may be. And, also, I'm on X, JP 21 Reasons. But yeah, what I wish I knew. I dropped that thing November the 1st, and the journey's been crazy and it's amazing. I've become a vendor in multiple counties. My book is now going to be a part of the school curriculum. You know, we're doing so many, you know, great things with this book that talks about relationships and your mental and emotional health and all of those things in the journey. So really humbling. What I wish I knew, again, on all platforms, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, got on ebook. I'm finna get in the studio right now, actually, working on this audio. Okay. So we mashing the gas on that. And I want y'all to be on the lookout because I'm going to share some snippets. Book number 2 is almost done.
Hey, shout out to book number 2.
And book number 2, which I think I'm going to go into retirement after this one because it's going to be real heavy. But the name of the book is called Failed Fatherhood. And it is a personal story, pretty much a tell-all on my parenting journey.
Okay, we got to get you back on the pod.
Yeah.
So
we got to.
when I tell you it's heavy, there's a lot of truth that will be expressed in this. I know it's going to affect and offend some people. Yeah. My children might be or feel some type of way too, but the healing that it's going to do for so many others, I'm willing to take that. So whatever the case may be, but y'all be on the lookout for that. Big 3 is coming up, so I got to shout out to my squad, Killer Threes. So we back at it again, June 15th.
Okay.
21 Reasons to Give. We are mashing the gas on that too, and we have a lot of really big projects coming up. We're going to help this literacy rate continue to go up.
Come on.
I was about to spill it, but let me stop. but I'm super happy about that. Trying to think what else. I know me and Chris gonna do some work together.
Yeah,
go ahead
you
and plant that seed.
Right.
But I just think, you know, all praise to Elohim and just super grateful to be in a space and to just show, you know, the different sides. You know, what y'all see has been me at the core. What has forced me to come out is, again, my responsibility, being a parent, being a stand-up, you know, wanting to be a stand-up gentleman. And just trying to, you know, show how manhood can be in a different light. Yeah. You know, I know, and that's not to say that people don't know that they're solid people, but, you know, a lot of the real solid ones don't have the exposure that they need. Right. And we're looking at a lot of these other examples, as you mentioned before, and you're like, really? But I do want to say this to piggyback off of that, because I do think it's beautiful because social media has made it to now you know who people are. Now I know how I can attack you and how we can address what needs to be addressed because I'm seeing it. All you got to do is look at your comment section, look at your page. Okay, cool. Now I know how I can deal with that person and operate. Before, it's tricky. Everybody got their mask on. Everybody putting on, you know what I'm saying? And it took a little bit more work to kind of unpack and just kind of figure out what that looks like. But now it's a beautiful thing. So it exposes whatever that spirit is.
Good and bad, yeah.
Good and bad. Yeah. And now you, with the work that you're doing, you know how you can address it. With the work that you're doing, you know how you can address it. All right, cool. Now how can I find some like-minded brothers? Okay, cool. Got one over here, got one over there. Now we can come together as a big unit. Yeah.
Come on.
And affect thousands of more people.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a beautiful thing, man. And
it's been
shout
amazing,
out to COVID.
Yeah.
COVID. If it wasn't for, and it's so funny, and I gotta say this, and I'm gonna shut up. If it wasn't for lives, I wouldn't be able to speak and do the things that I'm doing to this day. Because I had to get outside of myself. Remember I told y'all, like, just trusting people, but then it was like, no, it ain't about them, it's about me. Do I trust me enough to be that person? So I know it's in me, but am I willing to do it? And that's how I know it's a part of my purpose, because it's always been something on my heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To just advocate for human beings, women, men, love, you know, showing what
authenticity.
Yeah, just all of that. Just being genuine to who you are. Excuse me. I'm spitting fire, literally.
All good, bro.
But you know, just being an example and just really setting what that looks like. You know, like a man is a man, and it's not based on a man's pockets or what he can give. Like, I was able to be blessed at a time when I was at my lowest. And I find, like, I literally found my person at the time when I was lowest. Now, if I listen to the way that it's presented in social media, if I listen to some of the OGs and the people that, even though I know they love me and mean me well, then I wouldn't have the partner that I have to this day. And that and salute to her, because it ain't a me thing. She was willing and gave me the opportunity.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So she
out
was
to the
willing to
wife.
work, you know, put in the same work that I was willing to put in. So I think when you hear of stuff like that, everybody's situation is different. There are some who are financially situated, and then they find their person, and then it's okay if somebody's not.
Right.
Yeah, facts.
We have to.
Cause I knew I was broke as a joke before. When I saw her, I was like, "It's a prettier thing, though." You know what I'm saying? I may be broke, but I got a mean mouth game. Though. I can talk with the best of
Man,
them.
for all these single brothers, there's hope for you.
But I'm
There's hope
saying,
for you,
because
but you
here's
gotta do the
the
work.
other part, right? For those men that you really ain't thinking about it, because y'all out here pumping your chest and harping about how happy you are, but how do you know if your woman really there for you?
Yeah, man. Well, look.
Yo,
It
we
was
appreciate you,
yeah,
man.
it was a great episode,
love.
man. And we
Great
thank you so much for your time, man. Thank you for pulling up, man. Thank you for just the value added. Shout out to the projects, all the things you're doing, man. We're going to make sure we show love. And thank you again.
Fact.
Hey, brothers, and I love y'all.
I love you.
Love
Dig
you
what
too,
I'm
man.
saying?
Appreciate you, man.
love you
I think
too,
y'all
man.
are solid. Y'all keep doing the work that y'all
Thank
are
you.
doing.
Thank you.
And shout out to your producer. Shout out Pops. Appreciate you for being in the
Yeah,
building.
shout out to Pop.
Shout out to
you know,
mom and your
but-
boy.
Come on now, but I think that what y'all are doing is very powerful.
Thank you.
And you know, stuff like this needs to be done in conference rooms and all of those things, so people can really see what it looks like. So there's so much power in what you're doing, and I want to make sure I give you all your flowers. Keep mashing the gas, fellas. Thank you again for allowing me to come in your space. Here's why, because I know y'all ain't letting everybody come in this
Facts.
space.
Facts. Bro. Big facts. We had to cut a couple people off.
That might go over some people's heads, man, but some people, I ain't gonna say most, some people ain't out here interviewing just to interview. They ain't having certain conversations just to have them.
Definitely
No, we're not walking up
So
and down the
I
street.
know the
kids.
company y'all keep.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was even a thought is humbling, and I appreciate
Man, we
it. So
appreciate
therefore,
that,
I have to come and blaze this thing.
Yeah.
Die line,
Yes,
die
sir.
line, die line, die line, die line.
I love it.
But look, man, appreciate you, man. As you guys know, man, the journey
Journey
continues.
man.
We out.
Peace.